Hey, yeah, what's up? This disciple Marcello Kearns Rain back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day. So this message right here is just gonna be about um, how the hip hop culture, which is a big part of African American culture, exposes children to sex. Okay. Now, one thing I'm gonna make clear from the very beginning: children don't listen to R&B oldies. Children, black African American children, do not listen to R&B oldies on their own. Okay, they might listen to R&B oldies because their parents got it playing in the house. They might listen to R&B oldies as they're in the back seats of their parents' cars. But when they're on their own, which most, let's agree, most African American kids have full reign with what they do with their phones. Most African American parents are not taking away kids' phones at the end of the night. They're not checking the history to see what their children are watching on their phones. So let's be 100. Children in the ghetto, you think they're giving their phones up at the end of the night? That's a joke. If anything, most parents will want their child to be occupied so they can get out there here. So they let them, just like we used to have as kids, as Generation X, how we had the TVs grow us up. Children got the phones now to grow them up. They look at everything on their phone, and the parents don't mind because they stay out their parents' hair. So that being said, you don't think these children be watching all this stuff, all this stuff that they shouldn't be watching, all this hip hop stuff that ain't talking about nothing but sex. He ain't talking about nothing childlike. I tell you that. It ain't talking about nothing childlike, is it? You should have knew this was coming. People playing around me like I'm something to play with. How about now? How about now? When the whole whole culture of hip hop is not child friendly. Most of it, okay, maybe 10% of it is child friendly. 10%. Every once in a while, they make a good inspirational song for children. But the other 90% is all about booty shaking and twerking. That's what it's about. Twerking, violence, drugs, and sex. Okay? And you have to realize your children, their first experiences or thoughts of sex is coming from the music. It's coming from hip hop. If they are black kids that especially grew up in the hood, most of their first thoughts of sex are the appeals of sex comes from hip hop and the hip hop culture. Now that's 100. Now you can sit here and act like this is not true. You can sit here and be biased all you want. You can sit here and act like I have some other agenda. Whatever the agenda may be, this is the facts. This is the facts. These are the facts. Okay? Most of that music gets in the hands of children. Right? That's a fact. I also grew up listening to hip hop. I was listening to all type of songs before I was 18. I was listening to all types of sexual music before I was 18. Which, in that case, is exposing children to sexuality. Ain't that what pedophiles do? Pedophiles expose children to sexuality, right? That's what they do. So how much different is a rapper exposing children to all type of sexual things? Now, listen, the rapper would say, well, it's not my fault. And it's not my fault that people can't raise their children. But at the same time, let's read between the lines. You know that this music is going to get out there to children, period, point blank. You already know it's going to get in the hands of children. You already know this. So Let's not try to play stupid. It's better to try to play smart and play it smart. You know it's going to end up in the hands of children. You know that you are responsible for arousing little girls and arousing little boys. And you don't think God's going to hold you responsible? Of course he is. Of course he is. If you have a massive message of sexuality, that part, going out to the masses of children, you don't think God is going to put an end to that? You don't think God is either going to put an end to it or bring judgment to it? And you think he's going to help hold back judgment from you because you think people should raise their children? Well, at the end of the day, you're still the messenger of sexuality. Let's look at that part. You're the messenger of sexuality. And you think God gonna hold back judgment from you? See, this has become an all-out war, guys. You should have knew. Hey, look, you thought they were gonna play with the prophet of God and everybody wasn't gonna be on the chopping block. It's only right. So I don't supposed to say nothing. But they playing with me. Like I'm a cartoon, like I'm something to play with. Well, let's talk about all of this then. Let's talk about the whole hip-hop culture. Let's talk about the whole African-American culture, which most of it is not even child-friendly. Okay, what part of the real cool part of the African-American culture is child-friendly? What part of it? What part of it? For all the cancel culture people. Look like you haven't done a good job protecting the children, have you? You haven't done a good job protecting the children of the African-American community, because most of the African-American culture is not even child-friendly. It's sexual. It's promiscuous by nature. It doesn't teach marriage. It teaches sleeping around. Like we're not civilized enough to be with one person. And you can take this the wrong way if you want to. Animals should be the only ones not able to be faithful to one creature. An animal doesn't know any better. An animal has sex with everybody. A human being, as far as sexuality, is able to understand the concept of being faithful to one creature. You have people that are like animals who prey on other people's spouses and who prey on other people. You hear it in the music, in the rap music. I have sex with your girl. I have sex with your man. That's an animalistic perspective. Don't you realize that? That's what animals do. Animals have sex with whoever. And see, you want to say, oh, you want to pull the race card. Ain't no race card. I'm talking about activity. I'm talking about the activity. It ain't got nothing to do with your color. You flattering yourself. Ain't nobody thinking about your color. I'm talking about what your culture, the hip hop culture, is doing to children and what they expose children to. While you waiting for some little hint of racism. Well, guess what? You're not going to get it. You're not going to get any racism. Some of y'all got racism syndrome. You got racism syndrome. As soon as somebody start talking about anything got to do with black people, your racism syndrome come to the surface, don't it? Yeah, let's keep it 100. That's what everybody talking about, keeping it 100. And let's know, and I'm going to do a video on that too. All you American parents who don't take your children's phone at the end of the night, what you think they doing with those phones? They make up most of the porn views on these porn sites. Oh, you thought it was just children? You thought it was just adults? All those views on those videos? Are you naive? These are children with raging hormones that have just now been exposed to sex, and you don't think they watching everything all the time? Oh, let's not forget how often you watched porn when you was a kid. See, now you're an adult, you watch it and get off, and then you done with it. You back to watch it. You back on Facebook. See, that's what most adults do. Let's be 100. You get off, you back to YouTube, you back to Facebook. You ain't gonna sit there and watch porn for 3 hours. Kids do. Don't you remember when you was a kid? Remember how long you watched it? Without even masturbating. Do you remember how long you watched porn? You just sat there and watched it. So all those views on those porn videos, most of them are children. You don't even confiscate your children's phone at the end of the night. You don't look at their search history, do you? So you think those children have the discipline to not be on porn sites while they're laying in their beds? Boy, you are naive. You are very naive. Okay, so, yeah, I'm going to do a video on that, though. I'm going to do a video on children and their phones in the American culture. I can't speak for anywhere else. I don't know what people do. I don't know the culture of really any other country, like down to the point of phones and how it is with phones. All I can speak for, honestly and fluently, in is the American culture. I could speak about it in a fluid-like manner. What I know parents is doing and not doing. And I guarantee you they're not taking the phones of their children at the end of the night, which means their children are in their rooms masturbating with their phones. You know I'm right. I'm right. I'm right about it. I know I'm right about it. Okay, so here we are. The African American culture. So for all the ghetto committee, all the people that like to sit up and think, you run the politics, let me tell you something, man. With all your doings, if you expose children to wickedness, all of it is in vain. Here's the reason why. It's not just because, we just got to protect the children, right? It's not just that part. It's what the children become. It's what your next generation becomes. Now you're wondering why all these predators are getting younger and younger. You wonder why the ages of perversion is becoming younger and younger, because they're being exposed to more and more at a younger age. So then you got serial rapists in your community. You got serious perverts that's going to be in your community because they've been exposed. They've been watching porn on their phones, stuff that we couldn't do. As kids, we didn't have phones with videos on it. The only phone had to go on a hook. It wasn't portable. We didn't have portable phones in my day. These kids are going to grow up with sexual perversion like you never believed. They're going to become some of the most worst perverts that you ever imagined, because parents are not taking their phones at the end of the night. Come on, you want to be naive about it. You're a good parent. Can you imagine these drinking parents that sit up and drink? They give the kids the phone so the kids will be occupied. Yeah, here, go somewhere and sit down with your phone. Go play some games on your phone. And before you know it, they just get lost in the phone world, the internet world. Yeah, the internet's on the phone these days. I know it didn't start out on the phones, but now it is. I remember when you could barely get on the internet with a cell phone. You could barely get on it. It's nothing now. People get phones for internet. They don't get phones for phone calls. They get phones for the internet. That part, that's the 7th hour. So what you think your child getting the phone for? To keep in touch with friends. To talk on the phone. Kids getting phones just for the internet. Just to be online. Just to be on these websites. Huh? That's what the kids are doing. But the hip hop culture has exposed kids to sexuality as far as back as the 80s and the 90s. I mean, listen, guys, listen. Everybody thought it was a game. You think it's funny. You walk around like Mickey Mouse and Mario, and now the rubber's meeting the road. Yeah, it's not funny anymore, is it? When you realize it's everybody, and the people that you play with are the ones that's exposing it. That's hilarious. It's hilarious to me when I'm the one that revealed to you 44 states for child marriage, big baby. Boom. Right here in your sausage biscuit eating country. You know how y'all Americans like to go to McDonald's and all those places to eat those sausage biscuits in the morning? Well, while you eating a sausage biscuit, your country has 44 states on the horizon while you watching the sunrise, big baby. While you looking at a sunny day, 44 states got child marriage right here, big baby. See, hey, you played with me. Now you're trying to switch it around. It ain't gonna work like that, big baby. Keep that same energy. Just like your children say. They got a little saying. Keep that same energy. That's what we talking about. Yeah, keep your same energy. All that stuff y'all was saying earlier. Now look at me. Now I'm revealing to you 44 states with child marriage while you sitting up here talking about what? Stuff you didn't even see. Stuff you can't prove. Stuff you don't see with your own eyes and stuff you haven't heard with your own ears. While you talking about ghostly stories and folklore legends, I'm talking about laws in your country, right here in America, in the United States of America that you was not aware of. That part. That's a joke to me, then. Don't you think so? Everything you doing is a joke. Everything you doing is hilarious. Mickey Mouse, Mario, little bastards. You're bastardly people. You go around playing and you the one slipping. That don't make you bastardly? I think so. Yeah, ain't nobody trying to hear that. And I want all these people to set up the African American the African American committee, whether it be ghetto or cancel culture or the ones who think they've arrived. Whatever portion, all sex of it. Let's say all sex of it. All sex of the African American committee, if you will. How come you ain't checked the fact that all this stuff that you giving awards to at these award shows have been exposing your children to sexuality for decades? You giving out awards to these people that expose your children to sex for decades. That part. Oh, okay, you can act naive. How kids know? The kids only know about one part. The sex part. They don't know about nothing else these people talk about. Birds and flipping it and all of that and hustling and all they know about is when they talk about penis and vagina. That's the parts they know about. Those are the first terms, forbidden terms that kids learn. So when they start hearing it in the songs, that's the part that catches on. All this other flipping birds and all of the other slang and stuff, they don't know nothing about what that means. Some kids do, a lot don't. About 45% of the kids don't know what that even means. But when you start talking about sex in the songs, they know exactly what that means. When you show these visuals in the videos, they know exactly what that means. They know exactly what that means. And you think that these kids don't get aroused? You don't think these young boys get aroused at all this booty shaking on these videos? You don't think they get aroused? You are so naive. Think about yourself when you was a kid. Think about who you were. Think about what you was doing. Now think about 20 years later. That part. Think about 20 years later. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do is think about what you was doing when you was a kid, right? That's for all you baby boomers. Oh, you like to ride around thinking you own America. You don't own nothing no more. All you own is a pathetic country that is a shell of what it used to be. You got 44 states with child marriage, and you still a patriot? You're still a patriot. A patriot of what? 44 states with child marriage? Well, you got to add that part too, buddy. Well, if you're a patriot of America, you don't have the luxury of taking which parts you don't like to be a patriot of. You're a patriot of all of it. You got to take the good, the bad, and the ugly. Buddy, how you going to just take the good part? Make it make sense. If you're a patriot, how you going to just take the good part of your country? That part. And in fact, you're a patriot of the worst stuff. Does that make sense? You're only as much of a patriot is of the worst stuff of your country. That's a 7. You're only a patriot, as much of a patriot as the worst conditions of your country. Does that make sense? So if you got 44 states with child marriage, buddy, you have to add that part. That part is defining your patriotism. It defines how much of a patriot you really can be. Well, you can't be too much of a patriot with 44 states with child marriage, now can you? See where this is going? And whose fault is it? Let's do a multiple choice of that question. Whose fault is it? Mine? Other countries like Russia? Or you and your community? Ding, 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 ding. Ring, 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 ding, 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 ding. That would be C. Option C. You and your community. You got 44 states with child marriage, buddy. It's right here in the atmosphere. Just in case you think it's encapsulated in this room, it's all in the atmosphere of your whole country. While you're in the fairyland world thinking you have jailed this truth or imprisoned this truth. How you imprison the truth that's in the government? How have you imprisoned the truth when it's in the government, man? How have you imprisoned these facts when it's the laws of your country where everyone can see it? Go right on the internet and it's right there, man. But yet you think you slowing me down. How you slowing me down? The truth is already out there. It's just a matter of time now. It's just a matter of time now. Yeah, so for all the ghetto community, man, you listen. I'm talking about the committee, the board, if you will. Those who think they're the elders, the OGs, I guess you could say, of this ghetto committee. Let me help you with something, man. While you secretly think you're exposing people, like nobody don't know no better, while you playing the games you're playing and gambling over who's going to win, while you doing all of that, thinking you the big dog because you gambling in my situation, I'm the big dog in the whole situation. You got 44 states with child marriage, buddy. That goes beyond you and your ghetto committee, doesn't it? Well, that hits the whole country now, doesn't it? Which means you're just another walk of life in my warfare. In my warfare, you're just another walk of life. You're just one walk of life. You're just one way of life. I'm smashing on the whole thing, bro. Make sense to you? Okay? It ain't nothing. What can you do about it? What can you say about it? In all actuality and honesty. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's a perfect war. You can't do nothing but join me. You might not like me, but I guarantee you one thing. I'm right about all of it. I'm right about all of it. Not half of it, all of it. The hip-hop community is not for children. The hip-hop culture is not for children. When all it's talking about is gangbanging and killing and all of this and that and the third, it ain't got nothing to do with children. It is not Barney songs. It's not Elmo songs. It ain't Mickey Mouse songs. It ain't none of them kind of songs. You know what kind of songs kids should be listening to? Elmo and Mickey Mouse. But you ain't gonna do that, are you? As soon as your kids get of age and they start acting like they like hip hop, you turn off Mickey Mouse, don't you? He raised your children about 4 or 5 years old, and that's about it, right? After about 5, it's on the hip hop and drinking and smoking. Your kids listen to songs about drinking. Drinking fifths of vodka. Imagine that. Imagine you trying to act like your culture is really pure and you have the right. Hear this part very closely, because this is what this is all about. If you don't hear nothing else, hear this. Like your culture and your community has the right to sit up and try to check anybody. You can't check nobody. That's all I'm saying. Listen. Some people sit up and say, well, that's our own. We got to correct that person. How you going to correct anybody? No, you haven't corrected yourself. You don't own the rights to correct anybody. You don't own me, and you can't correct anybody. That's both of it. That's both of it. I'm saying country and ghetto. That's both of it. That's both of it, bro. You can't check me. When your whole community and culture, everything you stand for is not even child friendly. It's not child friendly. You could try to make it child friendly. You could try to add inspiration to it to inspire the children, but at the end of the day, the bulk part is not child friendly. And guess who's been exposed to it the most? Guess who takes most interest in rap songs? Usually between the ages of 5 to 17. From 5 to 17, the ages of 5 and 17, that's who's taking the most interest in hip hop, who listen to it all day, all over and over again. Most of us that's my age and older, well, my age and maybe between 30, well, I say 35 and on up, we listen to what songs we want to listen to, eat the meat and spit out the bones, and we don't sit up and listen to hip hop all day. I don't. I might listen to a couple songs of people I like and see what they talking about presently, and that's that. I'm not sitting up listening to hip hop all day. Especially at my age, I like old school. After a while, I'm turning that off. And I'm going to listen to probably R&B or funk. I'm not finna sit up and listen to hip hop all day. At 41 years old, I'm listening to rap all day long. Nah, bro. So that tells you something right there. You don't do it either. You listen to a couple songs you like. When you smoke a little weed, you might go a little extra hard. You might listen to some songs. You might listen to a couple albums. Then you come down and, that's that. The kids, though, 5 to 17, them the ones who listen to it all day. Remember how you used to be? That's how they are now. That part. How you used to be. Where you listen to hip hop all for no reason, all day long. And guess what that's doing? It's influencing them in drugs, sex, alcohol, and everything adult that you can imagine. Every perspective of adult life that you can imagine. Listen, man, what we supposed to leave that unharmed and untouched? Why everybody want to blame everybody for what's going on with these children? That's supposed to be untouched. That's the biased nature in you. That's the biased feelings that you have for your community, right? Whether it be black people, white people, or anybody else, that's your biased feelings. But somebody on the outside is going to look at that. Somebody who will have no care about what you think is going to look at that. Okay, kids are being exposed to this. All this shaking around, shaking, butt shaking, titty shaking. You know what I'm saying? Kids being exposed to images that they shouldn't even be exposed to at that age. When I was a kid, if there was anything funny on TV and we was watching a movie with my mom, she'd make us close our eyes. Close your eyes. We couldn't even watch. I couldn't even watch nothing on TV like that. Not in front of my mama. Speed up these days, kids kids are now watching it with their parents. Almost porn. Sitting up watching people make out with your kids. That's weird. And yet that's what you do when you watch these movies in the culture. The ones that the black culture haven't canceled. Oh, they ain't canceled that. Oh, they ain't started on that. That's why, see, you can't put yourself in a position of checking people and you ain't checking everything. You might not be perfect, but you have to check everything. That's a 7, Al. Yeah, black culture out here trying to check this and that. These cancel culture folks trying to catch this, trying to cancel this and that. But look at it for what it is. You ain't canceling all of it, though. You ain't canceling the stuff that make your children act out. You ain't canceling the stuff that make black children go in the wrong direction. Start shooting guns and everything at a young age. You ain't canceling that part. Nah, you ain't. And you know kids are the one listening to the music. You think fully grown men, 50 years old, listen to rap music all day? Use your brain. That's all you got to think about. What 40-year-old and 50-year-old listening to rap music all day? I'm talking about all day. Listen to videos all day. That's all kids do. What else do they watch? The news? CNN? So kids are watching CNN. Kids are on Facebook. Facebook played out to children. It's old people that's on Facebook now. Twitter, when Donald Trump is on it, and these other guys own it, come on, man. Ain't nobody, man, that's old for kids. Hey, kids are owning something else now. And I guarantee you, you don't want to be real about it, but